Chatting now with Rusty Amarante with BELFOR Franchise Group. Rusty, please introduce yourself and tell us about your position with BELFOR Franchise Group.
Yeah, great. My name, obviously, Rusty Amarante, and started in the restoration business as a kid in 1977, and have evolved in restoration and the franchise business. And now I'm lucky enough to be the president of the BELFOR Franchise Group here in Ann Arbor, Michigan.
If we were meeting for the first time and I asked you what COOL-BINZ was all about, give me your elevator pitch.
Yeah, so COOL-BINZ, I would say, is it. If I were to obviously use the most recognized brand out there right now, it's Pods. It's portable storage, and COOL-BINZ is a competitor to Pods, but with a twist. And the twist is pretty significant, in that our bins are climate controlled. So we can put them in any temperature, and we can generate air conditioning in hot environments. We can generate heat in warm and cold environments. And we can do that all off of 110 power. And we dehumidify these containers as it goes through that climate change. This is critically important, and is brand new to the entire storage industry, to the degree that we do it. And anyone who has ever rented it, any kind of mobile storage knows that, if you pack it up with contents and you put it in a very hot environment, condensation develops, and you can do damage, to whatever the contents. If you put it into a very cold environment, and whatever's inside freezes, glues will come apart, the surfaces will delaminate, all kinds of things can happen. So, if you have items of value that are subject to temperature change, you're able to put them into our bins, and we can control the climate as well as the humidity, and preserve the quality of the contents. Now, the biggest thing about that also is that we're doing it all off of 110 power. So you can plug it into any normal outlet and generate that climate control. There are some climate controlled containers out there, shipping containers, for example, or whatever, but a lot of them require 220 power, and an immense energy drain. So this is certainly a little different. We also have units that are freezers. So, say a restaurant or a country club or something was having a special event. They needed more capacity for food, whatever. We can generate units that generate refrigeration all the way through freezing. And then we have some custom built bins, for vendors or trade shows and things like that. So there, and some of them are built into office space. So it's more versatile. It's different, and it's not just an empty, uninsulated, unconditioned bin. And we believe we're the first to bring it to market, and certainly first to bring it to market in a significant way. Yeah.
Has this entire industry grown recently, and where do you see the potential growth going, maybe over the next 3 to 5 years?
Yeah, no, this industry has really boomed. There's no question about it, and hey, look, you can't deny it. I mean, Pods was certainly the one that is the recognized leader in the industry, and I think they're the ones that really made it a common name. But having said that, the demand is huge. It's you don't drive down too many roads nowadays and don't see mini storage facilities of one type or another. And our system, we feel, is a better mousetrap, in that it's, one is the maneuverability of our bins. We can manipulate them in and out of genuinely any spot or location where someone wants them. We don't just drop them in the middle of the driveway. everybody needs storage for something. It just seems like, if you live in an apartment, you probably need some storage. If you're my age and you've downsized from a big house to a little house, you probably need some storage. If you're a business owner, you need storage. And that is just the day in, day out, monthly type storage. But certainly, for you're remodeling your house, you need to take everything out of the house and put it in storage. If you're moving, from one town to the next, it's a cost-effective way to move. So we see a lot of potential in the future for it, and especially for ours, as I said, since they are a little unique and different from the others. Yeah.
Tell me about the franchise opportunity with COOL-BINZ. Who's the ideal candidate for you?
Yeah, so I think one of the greatest things about COOL-BINZ, right, is that I look at it frankly more as a rental business than a service business, right? Because it's really what you're doing, and I think one of the other things that's really great about it is it's not labor intense. So, you really need someone to answer the phone, and you need somebody to deliver the bins, and you're in business, right? That from a personnel standpoint. So many other of our brands are labor intense. So this one, I think, having the ability to have less in the way of people and more in the way of rental product, makes it a little bit different. So if you want to manage less people and manage more things, COOL-BINZ is probably a nice way to look at it. Yeah.
That sounds like a great opportunity for a lot of people out there. What
Yeah.
kind of support can they expect from BELFOR Franchise Group and from COOL-BINZ specifically when they start and then ongoing?
Yeah, well, so Ernie and Kathy Padalino, who really are the folks who developed these bins and built them out and designed them, they are with us, and they're the presidents of that brand. So I think one thing we certainly give to franchisees is again, we didn't just hire somebody who heard about this business. We have the people that built it. We have the people that built the bins. We have the people that know it inside and out, top to bottom, and their expertise is unparalleled. So we're very, very proud to have them on our team and on our staff, and we know that they'll be great leaders and coaches. From the BELFOR side of it, as I said, like many of our other brands, BELFOR can be a customer to every one of those COOL-BINZ franchises, because at one point or another, BELFOR needs portable storage, and you can imagine during a hurricane or any kind of a substantial weather event, where we're mobilizing to go to Florida or wherever, storage is a huge concern and a big demand and a need for ours. So yeah, we see BELFOR as being, an automatic customer to that brand.
Excellent. So, Rusty, tell me, why is now a good time to invest in COOL-BINZ?
Well, we just rolled the brand out in the last several months. And in my view, I think now's the best time, because I think in the future, the cost to get into this business is going to be substantially more. And I think as I said, I think there'll be greater demand and need for it. And just based on that alone, entry level will be a little bit higher. But I think here, while we are at the new beginning stage of COOL-BINZ and introducing it as one of our newest brands, I think it's as affordable as it will probably ever be, at this point in time, and it'll get a little steeper going forward. But yeah. So I would say that would be certainly one of the biggest reasons. Yeah.
Got it. And for our last couple of questions, taking a step back and looking at BELFOR Franchise Group overall, what's the advantage for all of your brands, especially when it comes to brand recognition?
Well, I think that as you know, as I said, Belfour is a worldwide brand, and it's been around, since the '50s, and it again, it may not be a common known brand day in and day out to the common household, but it's becoming more of that because of Belfour and what they do as it relates to restoration. They're very, very involved with the community. So again, with the fire departments, with the first responders, from situations, weather events. If there's a water main pipe that breaks in your downtown and floods out the downtown, I mean, on and on and on. Belfour is very, very connected with the community. So I think being able to, for all of our brands to say that they are a Belfour, a division of Belfour, gives it some credibility and gives it some recognition. And I think for the franchisees, it gives them some peace of mind, right? That they are a part of a very substantial company. This is not just a 10 brand company that is trying to get built out. This is part of a very, very big worldwide platform. With substantial stability and financial stability behind it, and a commitment from our CEO Sheldon to have these brands grow and to continue to expand on them. So we are not taking our foot off the gas for expanding BFG or expanding in any of our brands. We continue to invest all the time.
Excellent. And final question. If I was a brand new franchisee with any of your brands, what are some common pitfalls or maybe some things that you would advise me to look out for?
Yeah, well, first thing I'd say is make sure you don't talk to Doug Smith. I mean, that would not be, you want to avoid that at all possible costs.
Noted.
So, I think probably the single biggest thing I would say, you're probably going to be very surprised that I'm saying this because, we're on the franchisor side, but I would not get caught up in letting, a broker or someone try to talk you into buying 3, 4, 5 territories to start your business. I just think that's a fundamental mistake, and it's very misleading. And granted, I get that commissions are made on sales and that sort of thing, but the reality of it is, look, unless you're a major investor and unless you're planning on having a big footprint with the financial ability to play that out, I think you are much better off starting out with 1 or 2 territories. Build those territories out, maximize the opportunities there, and then look at expanding. And the opportunity to expand is always going to be there, right? I mean, companies go in and out of business all the time. Opportunities always present themselves. But I think for a brand new franchisee to overextend themselves in purchasing of too many territories because you're being told, you don't want somebody to buy those territories later. We don't like that. We have never, ever encouraged it. We've actually terminated franchise development guys who have oversold too many territories because we know that is going to make the ability for success much more difficult because you burden them with additional financial burden that they simply don't need. I mean, you can imagine, right? If you bought our red box, our dumpster business, you cannot be driving a dumpster 3 hours away and then going to get it to pick it up and bring it back. I mean, you'll have 12 hours of driving time into that dumpster. You can never charge enough and make enough money doing that, right? So why in the world would you want a territory that far away just to prevent somebody else buying into that market? We're so opposed to that. So it's something we look very, very hard at, and something we try very hard to manage. And I will say something else. Again, Doug Smith runs our franchise development department, but and he will tell you, coming from Sheldon himself, and my job to enforce, we have no sales quotas for any of our franchise brands, none. So there is not any demand on Doug or his team or our brand presidents to sell a certain amount of franchises per year. And I'm not so sure how many others are like that. But we are not interested. I'm not interested in selling 100 franchises this year and having 50 of them close next year. I'm just not interested in it. I want to make sure that we sell to the right people that are going to have the greatest potential for success. We do not want them, so financially burdened from the minute that they start that it's just nothing but amazing stress from the minute they start. It's just not right. It's just not the way you do it. So yeah, I hear some things and read some stuff once in a while about some stuff, but we don't talk it. It's what we live, and you can ask our franchise development guys. They'll tell you, hey, I've got somebody that's interested in 4 or 5 territories, and we say to them, no, we're not. That's just something we won't do. So we're very serious about that. Yeah, we want less franchisees, but a greater success rate. We are not looking for turnover. We just don't want it. We could sell 100 of any of our brands, in a short period of time. We could. The backlog is significant enough to do that, but the vast majority of them would probably be the wrong people, and they would probably fail. So, what good is it? Yeah, we don't want that reputation, and we don't want that heartache for the people.
Got it. And there's a lot of buzzwords out there, especially from brokers and FSOs and consultants, things like absentee ownership and semi-absentee ownership. What do you think about when I say those terms?
Yeah, I get the quivers when I hear some of that. I start to shake a little bit. Look, I think if you are a major investor, and you've got substantial capital, but you then have a full-time management person or team that's going to operate this business, then maybe we would talk a little more to you. Maybe, we would consider it. But I think for anyone to think that any of these businesses can be part-time, for anyone who thinks they can have a full-time job and operate one of these businesses, for anybody to think that, a service business is mailbox money, the calls just come in, the crews automatically do what they need to do. And I just balance the checkbook every month. That I think they're just horribly naive. And we've heard sales pitches for different brands, and we just shake our head of some of the things that some people say, to sell a franchise, and it's really not right. It's not. So I would question anybody very, very hard about the whole absentee idea, the senior management level thing, and really want to drill down into how it is that they plan for this to happen, because you have a lot of experience in this. You understand it as well as we do, right? I mean, just because it's a franchise does not mean it doesn't need a whole lot of hard work and a whole lot of commitment and a lot of effort before you see the success. And I think for anybody who thinks otherwise, it's going to be a short shelf life for them, and an expensive lesson.
That was great. Thank you so much for that. COOL-BINZ appears to be a little bit of a different type of concept. Maybe it's a disruptor in the space. Do you see it as a disruptor?
Oh, we absolutely see it as a disruptor. There's no question about that. And frankly, that's what made us excited about it, right? We love looking at things that are different for one reason or another, or has a different spin on something that's been traditional. So We absolutely see it as a disruptor. And again, we just brought COOL-BINZ to market, so the opportunity to buy within COOL-BINZ right now is frankly wide open, and there's tremendous opportunity and a lot of geography that's out there that is available. But we're anxious, obviously, to get selling and get moving that brand along. But we can't wait to see what it's going to look like in a couple of years. We think it's going to be huge. Yeah.
Rusty Amarante, thank you so much for joining us today, and thank you for sharing all of that great advice about the BELFOR Franchise Group.
Jack, thanks so much. Appreciate it. Enjoyed the conversation. I look forward to talking to you again. Thanks so much.